Well, Texas Senator Ted Cruz is ramping up his efforts to defund Obamacare, saying if his colleagues threaten to shut down the government, they could stop implementation of the president's health care law. He says, quote, "The Constitution gives Congress the power of the purse, the most important check we have on an overreaching executive. Now is the best chance we have to exercise this power in order to defund Obamacare. It can be done as part of passing the continuing resolution, a piece of legislation that funds the government and must be renewed by September 30th. Some of his colleagues, though, say the legislation would be impossible to pass and wind up being disastrous for the GOP. Jamie Weinstein is an editor for the Daily Caller, and you had this exclusive email exchange with Senator Cruz. Now, he says this is not specifically a threat to shut down the government. He says they're willing to vote, or he suggests they vote, to fund everything in the government except Obamacare, and dare the Democrats, President Obama especially, to essentially force on the American people a program that Cruz says they don't want.
Yes, this was an email exchange with our reporter Alex Pappas, and Cruz basically says it's now or never, that if you don't try this strategy now, once the subsidies kick in for Obamacare, you'll never be able to get rid of it. But the problem is that this seems like an almost impossible strategy. You have to imagine that a Democratic Senate will pass a House bill that defunds Obamacare. And even if that happened, which is very hard to see in and of itself, that President Obama would sign away his signature domestic achievement, or signature achievement, period, over his presidency. It's very hard to see how that happens. Even if a government shutdown occurs, a CRS report says that Obamacare will largely continue to be funded through mandatory spending. So even at that point, even in a government shutdown, you're still going to have Obamacare largely go and be implemented. The question is, who will that hurt? And a lot of people will say, well, hurt Republicans. The media is likely to blame Republicans for the shutdown. They will get the blame. So it's kind of like a charge of the light brigade strategy here, where, you know, you're looking like you're fighting the good fight, but there's almost no prospect of success.
Yeah, there are many Republicans who disagree with the senator's approach and think that the Republicans, well-intentioned though they might be in trying to stop this thing, are going to get the blame if, in fact, the government shuts down.
Absolutely. And, you know, the media certainly is unlikely to side with the Republicans on this. And frankly, you know, the Republicans have failed to stop the bill from being passed in the first place. President Obama was reelected. This is not really the way to stop bills like this. It's not been done before. Ted Cruz has been trying to say, for instance, that if you don't vote to defund Obamacare, you essentially support Obamacare, which is news to people like Tom Coburn, who's been fighting against Obamacare for a very long time, but does not think this is a good strategy.
But quickly, Jamie, he makes the point, Senator Cruz does, that no major entitlement program in modern times has ever been implemented and then taken off the table. When those subsidies kick in January 1, a lot of people are going to get used to them.
There's no question about it. It's very hard now to get rid of Obamacare once it's passed. This, I think, is a strategy that has almost zero prospect of success. You might have hope that once Obamacare is implemented, the individual exchanges will just collapse and the prices for the health care will go skyrocket high, and that will lead to at least a partial repeal of Obamacare. You can push a delay of Obamacare. I think there is some support for that. There's a lot of support among the public for that. But this strategy seems to be, just doesn't seem to be a possibility. I don't see the president signing away his signature domestic achievement.
Well, there have been a lot of delays already implemented by the administration. Jamie Weinstein from the Daily Caller. Thank you.